Tensions seem to be mounting in the South China Sea now. Remember how United States already deployed two aircraft carriers in the South China Sea region, following which China has also been coming out with back-to-back statements on what exactly does it make of this particular move by United States. Not just that, the United States also making it very clear that they do not feel intimidated by the threats that are being issued by Beijing. So several of those developments that are taking place in South China Sea. Niranjan, my colleague and editor, also joining us on the broadcast with more details. Niranjan, already we were looking at a deteriorating relationship when it comes to China and United States over, let's say, trade, COVID-19, Hong Kong, Taiwan, and now the situation only seems to be getting worse with what we're looking at in South China Sea.
It's a key development. In fact, here in the newsroom, we've been tracking the developments very closely. The pictures that you have on your screen, and what we'll do is we'll play those pictures out now. On Saturday, we told you that there was a confirmation from the US Navy about 2 US aircraft carriers that had joined the drills in the South China Sea to send a strong warning to America, to China. And these drills come at a time when even the Chinese, PLA, Chinese Navy, they're all holding drills in the same region. So in the South China Sea, as we speak, and these are pictures first on Republic TV, the B-52 bomber, America's B-52 bomber series, has now joined the fight, in fact, to send the message to China. And these pictures came in of the US Navy and the US Air Force also confirming that a B-52 bomber from the Louisiana base took off from home station and participated in a maritime integration exercise with 2 aircraft carrier strike groups in the South China Sea before landing at the Andersen Air Force Base in Guam. It is significant, and I'll tell you why it's significant. The B-52 bomber is a long-range aircraft bomber, and I can tell you that this is perhaps for the first time that all these assets are being used by America in the South China Sea to send a joint message. Now, let me tell you that during the air defense and strike, a few days back, 2 days back that is, I think we put out the pictures of the aircraft carrier, and we'll show you in a window what is happening in the South China Sea. On one hand, on the left of your screens, we'll show you this is the aircraft carrier USS Nimitz, USS Ronald Reagan that are already, and these are nuclear-powered war vessels in the South China Sea. And this is not the first time. This was a planned exercise, but this is a significant development during the air defense and strike exercises. Aircraft from the Nimitz and Reagan simulated enemy attacks, testing the Air Force's ability to detect, intercept, and engage threats in the South China Sea. That's the window that you have. So on the left of your screen, you have 2 aircraft carriers deployed in the South China Sea by America. On the right of your screen, the B-52 bomber joining the drill. Now, it's a strong message being sent out to China and the South China Sea, because China has been making different transgressions, trying to intrude international waters, not just in the South China Sea, but also in Japan. Let me tell you what's happening with China vis-a-vis the different regions. And we also had that map where you had the Paracel Islands, where China is in a face-off with Vietnam. In the Spratly Islands, China in face-off with Vietnam, Philippines, Malaysia, Brunei, and Taiwan. The Scarborough Shoal, where China is directly involved in a face-off with the Philippines. The Gulf of Tonkin, where China is directly in a face-off with Vietnam. So this is the map of the South China Sea conflict. Let's go back to the pictures and tell you the development. The development is that B-52 bombers have joined the exercise, and I think that's a significant development. And the Global Times, which is the Chinese mouthpiece, which is speaking for the Chinese PLA, the Chinese Communist Party, has also responded to the move by the Pentagon to relocate the B-52 strategic bomber. The B-52 strategic bomber has been moved to the Guam Air Base in the Western Pacific region. And the dual US aircraft carriers are also staging exercises in the South China Sea. These are large-scale exercises being conducted. And, it comes at a time when the People's Liberation Army, or the PLA of China, is also holding also holding exercises in the South China Sea. Now, China, while responding, has said it's not a coincidence but a blatant show of muscle. That's the Chinese PLA's response to the B-52 bomber being moved. Now, let me tell you a little bit about the bomber. It's capable of carrying cruise missiles and nuclear bombs. And that's why it's significant, and that's why the Global Times of China is responding to this. Because the vessels, the aircraft carriers that we showed you over the weekend on Saturday that had moved to the South China Sea as part of a planned exercise, these are nuclear-powered aircraft carriers. These can carry together a combined strength of 180 fighter aircraft. And it's coming on the back of also reports of China making that intrusion in the Japanese waters near the Senkaku Island. It is reported to be the longest Chinese intrusion near the Senkaku Island in the last 8 years. So, as reports of these increased transgressions, increased intrusions by China come to the fore, the military developments in the South China Sea become significant, because you have 2 US aircraft carriers. These are nuclear-powered carriers, and you have the US Navy also moving the B-52 bomber, which is on your screen, which is by far one of the most lethal birds in the skies or planes in the skies that is carrying cruise missiles and also nuclear missiles, and is capable of striking from a significant distance. And it is now being moved to the Indo-Pacific region, very close to China, in the Indo-Pacific, in the Pacific region of Guam, where the US has an airbase. So these are some strategic developments that are taking place, keeping China on the edge as it tries to use its muscle power, especially in the South China Sea. These are developments that are taking place. I'm handing it back to you because it was important in the context of what's happening in the South China Sea. Here at Republic TV, we'll keep getting you the live updates of the latest on the military drills in the South China Sea. Eyeball-to-eyeball conflict at the line of actual control with India. And in the South China Sea, we also had a tweet of the US Navy responding. We'll just play that before I hand it back to you. The US Navy this morning also put out a tweet responding to the Chinese mouthpieces, saying that you can't stop us. We are too good for the Chinese to try and counter us in the South China Sea. Let's also put out that tweet. We had that tweet, and essentially US Navy, and it's not just America. You know, you see a diplomatic war between Washington and Beijing, several measures being taken between both countries, and the diplomatic war aside, this is US hitting back at China, this was China's tweet, in fact, and then the US also hit back at China to say that we have 2 of our aircraft carriers, and we are capable of giving it back to you in equal measure. So the war of words continues. We're taking a short break on this note. I think I'm handing it back to you. Other channels are following us right now. After we broke the story of the B-52 bombers, after we told you that after USS Nimitz and USS Ronald Reagan had moved into the South China Sea as part of a military exercise, B-52 bomber, it's a long-range cruise missile and nuclear missile carrying bomber. Make no mistake, this is no small deal. And the way China's responding to this using its mouthpiece, they're completely rattled, perhaps didn't see escalation of this kind. I'm taking a short break on this note. I'm handing it back to you for now.
Oh yes, indeed significant military developments taking place in South China Sea. Many thanks, Niranjan, for breaking it down so clearly for our viewers. We'll keep a close eye out on all that is happening. They're significant indeed. For the moment, quickly slipping into a short break.